Well, hello, welcome to I Know a Guy Bicycles, hanging out with the guy. Hi, I'm Justin the guy, taking scary out of used, one bike at a time. So we've done some things to this bike. If you've seen other videos, this is going to be another one. This bike had a lot of issues, which they all can be fixed-ish for the most part, yes. We had a bad wheel on this one. The bottle cages need to be, mounts had to be cleaned out from rust. Some parts are going to have to be replaced and swapped out to be more in line with what componentry group is, but I got all the parts. But as taking things apart, this is something you might want to take a look at when you're looking at a used bike. This is supposed to spin smoothly, and it's kind of grindy. So we're going to pop it open and take a look. For that, I'm going to take these cables out of the way so I'm not getting pinged in the face. So you always want to try to have a clean work area as much as possible when you're working on anything. It's usually good practice. So you can see what you're getting yourself into, that kind of thing. So headsets in the past, a lot of the new ones are cartridge systems. The older ones are loose ball bearings, or they have the bearings in the cage. And this vintage, looking at this model, I'll have to see when I open it up what's in there. What happens is if this is compressed too tight, it puts too much pressure on those bearings. And the bearings, they're supposed to be perfectly cylinder or circular. And once they get compromised, they'll start what they call pitting. And this is not like a hub. It's not constantly moving and distributing. It's doing a lot of moving back and forth a little bit, but it's more taking the force back and up and down this direction, plane. So sometimes you'll get some pitted bearings in there. So this could be one of those situations where I go, uh-oh, then I'll have to spend some time not recording and figure out what kind of parts. Oh, here's a problem right off the bat. So when people swap out stems, I have several blogs on this. This is dangerous, just straight up dangerous. Reason being is there's two bolts that clamp the stem to the steer tube of the fork. Well, if one of those is over above the actual lip of the steer tube, which I'm going to do the non-professional view zoom, you see the fork ends right down there below this pinch bolt. That's no good, no bueno. Reason being that's not good is then you only have one bolt holding your stem on there. Hit something really hard, boop, you're going over. People like to switch these out and put a spacer underneath to bring it up higher. You can't bring it up higher this way by doing that. You have to switch out the stem to accommodate that lift to bring it up higher. And that's, I'm sorry, but this is something that has to be addressed. Looking at this is just scary because, you're putting yourself at risk. This bike was sold to me. If I would have rode it, well, I wouldn't be able to ride this one because it was just so out of the gate, not good. But if I would have rode this, I could have gotten myself hurt for that failing. It's because you only have one bolt holding, and if that loosens up or whatever, just imagine like half of your weight is on that contact point, other's on your butt. You're going down. I mean, you don't know what happened. You wake up in the ER. So anyway, just wanted to get that out of the way by just finding this. So loosen this up. So I will be taking the spacer out if I'm going to use the stem still. So that loosens it up, pops right out. So those are the bars there. So we got corrosion going on here. So this kind of follows the theme of what's been going on with this bike. So it came from somewhere or got sweated on a lot. And this is where it's going to get really tricky. So Hammer's not usually a protocol in bike mechanics, but turn away if this scares you. Man, that is on there. Well. So I'm seeing a lot of what they call kind of like a little bit of ashing. It's kind of like white flaky stuff. It's gonna sound disgusting, but that's typically human sweat crusties. So this is probably used for a trainer bike and somebody didn't put a towel over it, or they do make those covers to prevent that from happening. Oh boy. Well, we got ourselves a pickle situation. And these are supposed to be loose, and they're not. So another tool not commonly used in the cycling community. So I know I'm going to be taking out washers. I'm not too worried about that. Well, that's a problem. That is a problem. Okay, so I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to cut these off so I can get to the headset. I have replacement headsets. See if I can still keep this fork, but replace the headsets and the headset spacers. So stay tuned. This is definitely going to be a part 2 situation. So, oh boy. So, after some major finagling, as you probably see me in fast motion, taking a good half an hour, 45 minutes to smash these bearings out, which are completely rusted through, how to cut off the bushings, and I need to take this part off and what we have here is a bearing that's totally disintegrated. So, is it toast? No. The headset's gone. Yeah, but I replaced the cups and the crown race with a new headset, and we're back in business. But before I do that, I'm gonna clean off all this rust and get it like new. So this is one of those situations where, yeah, you know, you have a trainer, it's awesome, highway to nowhere, whatever. Make sure you cover this part of the frame. But this is not the first time I've seen this. I've seen this over the decades. So it's one of those things where sweat is very corrosive. It's salt water. And it's just salt that gets in there and just eats up this. At least I was able to salvage this. I have another fork I couldn't salvage because there's a quill stem internally. This season I couldn't get it out, so the fork's toast. So, but I'll be able to get this to work. I'll just pop these out, find myself I have replacement headsets, whole bunch of them. Need to figure out which one I need in size and put it back in there and put it back together, and we're good to go. Well, until the next phase, here we go.